from the backstretch at historic Saratoga Race Course. This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. When you can't make it to the track, make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Also brought to you by Wizard Race and Sports.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this, the last day of the Saratoga 2024 meet. And as I said earlier, that includes the bonus meet. It's been a nice summer up here, and it really has been summer with the Belmont at Saratoga meet back in early June, and then leading right through this very nice, very successful 2024 Saratoga meet. I hope you had as much fun as we did. We're going to recap a little bit of the season up here. This morning, a little bit later on, John Signor, president of Capital OTB, will join us as well to recap things on the Capital OTB side of things. So stay tuned as we wrap it up here. Always bittersweet. I think for those of us who do it every day, I think we're kind of ready, although you hate to see it go. And I always wonder if it's the same for fans, because fans obviously, maybe only come up 2 or 3 times. And so you may be a little more melancholy about it and missing it, but it's been a fun meet and opportunities to cash some tickets and some great performances and whatnot, and we'll recap a lot of that here over the next few minutes. Yesterday I popped down to the winner's circle to catch up with some of the players here on the trainer and jockey side, and we'll start things out. Yesterday, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, a graded race, grade 1 race, and it was won by Highland Falls. Flavian Prat was on board Highland Falls. That allowed Flavian Prat to get both the all-time stakes winning record for Saratoga in a season and all-time stakes overall, including non-graded stakes races. So graded stakes races and stakes races overall. Winning the Jockey Club Gold Cup yesterday gave Flavian Prat a record 13th graded stake, breaking the record set by Joel Rosario in 2022. And he also extended his stakes record overall to 17. So after the Jockey Club Gold Cup yesterday, the press gathered around Flavian and got some thoughts on the race, but also I picked up a little bit. It's just a quick little comment from Flavian, just reflecting on the great meet and the 2 stakes record, graded stakes races and stakes races overall. Flavian Prat, now the all-time leader for a season at Saratoga. Here are his thoughts after the win yesterday.
They passed the quarter pole and turned for home. Highland Falls and Arthur's Ride are head and head with Pyrenees just 3 lengths back, continuing to eat up real estate. They're in the final furlong. Highland Falls just in front of Arthur's Ride. Pyrenees keeps coming. Now Highland Falls has put away Arthur's Ride. Pyrenees moves into second. It is Highland Falls. What an accomplishment for Flavian Prat as he wins another one, this time the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Pyrenees was second. Then it was a photo for third, a battle between Tapit Trice and an oncoming Disarm. We salute Flavian Prat, who won more races in the stakes competition than anyone in the history of Saratoga Race Course.
It's a great honor. It's it's obviously a very it's a great group of rider and very talented rider, and I've been learning a lot around them. It's a team effort. My agent Brad has done an incredible job to book me on very good horses, and trainers and owners that give me those opportunities. So I'm very thankful.
Also, after that win in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, Brad Cox was down in the winner's circle talking about the performance from Highland Falls. He talked about, the strategy to go out there and give it to Arthur's Ride early. It was a bold move because you maybe wind up with both of them kind of folding up, but that wasn't the case. Highland Falls went out, challenged Arthur's Ride, put that one away, and got it done. So Brad Cox talks a little bit about the performance, the strategy, and going forward with Highland Falls. Up next, Brad Cox, right after the Jockey Club Gold Cup victory yesterday.
Now Highland Falls has put away Arthur's Ride.
Listen, if you don't get any pressure, you're on a loose lead. I mean, he's obviously proved he's a great horse. We weren't just going to let him walk the dog. We wanted to be aggressive, and it paid off for us.
Was there a point where you saw that you felt like 3/8 quarter pole that you thought moving better than that?
Yeah, maybe even at the half, I kind of thought we were head and head with him, and I thought at the 3/8 pole, we'd give him every chance to. I thought Flavin gave him every chance to win the race, and when they straightened up, it looked like he was getting the better of him. And then it started watching the horses coming from the back, kind of watching disarm and ease. The horses that I thought might be closing late, and he held them at bay. I was very proud of the effort.
How fortunate were the circumstances that Flavian was even available, especially with the meet that he's been having this year?
Well, we ride him a good bit. We done well with him probably the last 3 or 4 years. I think he's rode the Derby for us the last couple of years. So, we use him, and kind of locked him in after his last, probably say a month ago, after his last race. Kind of looked to ride him.
Are you inclined to just train this horse up to the top?
I don't know. I really, really don't know. I just know he's getting on a van tomorrow, going back home to Churchill. And we'll come up with the game plan. But he's a cool horse. He's a really nice colt. And look, he's been in training since last summer. I mean, or maybe even late last spring. We've spaced his races because he's kind of rolling along this winter. We gave him a shot in Grade 1 this winter, going a mile and a quarter. I don't think he was quite seasoned enough. Took a shot, didn't work out. He was fourth in Santa Anita, and feel like he's continued to move forward throughout the year.
So we'll see what the game plan is. Yesterday's race, a win, and you're in for the Breeders' Cup. So Highland Falls certainly headed in that direction. What maybe in the interim, we don't know yet. Brad said shipping out back to Kentucky this morning. So we'll keep our eyes open for what's next for Highland Falls, or if this day and age trains up to the Breeders' Cup. Who knows? But it was a nice performance yesterday. Again, with a bold move to go out there and challenge early and run away late. Highland Falls getting it done. Jockey Club Gold Cup. Finally, in the winner's circle yesterday, the Bernard Baruch turf race that was won by Running B. Irad Ortiz was on board for trainer Chad Brown, and I went down to the winner's circle yesterday, and he talked a little bit about the winner, which was interesting and whatnot. But I wanted to get a little insight into his thoughts on the 2024 meet in general, which was a very good meet for Chad. I mentioned earlier on the trainer side of things, the standings, he has 40 winners. He's in number one, 18 ahead of Todd Pletcher and Mike Maker, who both have 22 in second, a tie for second. But he's 18 ahead with 40 victories. So in yesterday's winner's circle, right after winning the Bernard Baruch, Chad Brown reflections on the 2024 meet.
In the final eighth of a mile, and surfacing late is Fort Washington. Fort Washington is coming swiftly on the inside, but in the meantime, there's a big battle up top, and Running B is coming back for more. What a trip for Running B, who comes back, sweeps by Taking Candy, and will pull away. Running B has won the Bernard Baruch.
Still a day left, but just reflect on the meet a little bit.
Yeah, the meet to get to 40 wins, and for us. Record for graded stake wins and grade 1 wins at 5, and we've never had a meet like this, and we've had some good ones. So I'm so appreciative of my team. They're really doing all the work behind the scenes, and as you see, we have a wide, diverse group of horses, all ages, distances, surfaces, and my team can do it all with them.
Welcome back. Yeah, great meet by Chad, certainly, and on the trainer side of things overall. Chad obviously stands out with 40 wins and a great meet and stakes wins and whatnot, but other trainers had nice meets as well. Sitting in second, again, a tie. It's Todd Pletcher and Mike Maker. They both went very well. In fourth, it is Linda Rice, Bill Mott, tied with Mark Cassie in fifth. Mark Cassie had a great meet. Far more limited starters than those others above. Brown, Pletcher, Maker, Rice, and Mott started over 100 horses. Mark started 52, one with 15 of them, 29% on the win end. A lot of those were 2-year-olds. He really had a great meet with his 2-year-olds, and he's having a great meet here, and as usual up at Woodbine as well. So great summer for Mark. We had him in the other day. Fun to talk to him. We had Brad in last week. Brad sitting down again. Limited starters, but he's been racing a lot down at Ellis this summer as well. We have more limited starters than again those top 5. He's gone well. Safi Joseph, very limited number of starters as compared to the others. He only started 35, but 11 wins, 31% there. Christophe Clement, a good meet. Rudy Rodriguez, who got off to a little bit of a slow start, heated up at the end. He ran well. Ray Handel, 35 starters, 8 wins. Nice meet for him. Horacio De Paz, nice meet. Jeremiah Engelhardt with 31 starters, 7 wins. So nice percentage there, but he had some nice stakes wins. Phil Bauer, just a phenomenal meet for Phil. 17 starters, 6 wins, 35%. He and Rigney Racing have done very well. Cherie DeVoe had a nice meet, just going down. Al Stahl, 5 for 12. Rob Falcone, 5 for 16. Notable there. So, again, it's been kind of a fun meet overall for a number of trainers that aren't at the top of the list. Now, we had John Ortiz in the other day. He started 12 and won with 6, including that great training job this weekend with Bright Work off the long layoff. So John Ortiz with 50% with limited starters. So, as I say, at the top of the list, Chad, hats off, great meet. But if you go down the list, there are other names that may slip under the radar a little bit, but also had very, very good Saratoga meets. On the jockey side of things, Irad Ortiz, again, clearly winds up the winner. He has 51 over Flavian Prat with 42, Tyler Gaffleone with 36, Dylan Davis with 35, Manny Franco 27. But as you see there were the 3 names. And again, Tyler Gaffleone was right up in that top group too. I don't want to miss him. But there were some notable storylines here. Irad had the great meet overall and will top the win list for the jockeys. But Flavian Prat, as we mentioned earlier, with the stakes records, graded stakes wins and stakes overall for a Saratoga meet record in both of those categories. And Dylan Davis, who just phenomenal meet overall, certainly. 35 winners to put him in 4th place, but the prices he brought in made the Dylan Saratoga 2024 just notable and attracted a lot of attention, certainly, and deservedly so. It was a fabulous meet. So again, there's Irad on top, but there are great storylines and great performances going down as well. So congratulations to all the folks who wound up with good Saratoga meets. It's not just up at the top, but if you go down and picked up notables. We on that category, we also want to mention congratulations to our friend Nick Zito. We had Nick in earlier, and Nick Zito got into the winner's circle yesterday. And it was interesting, and I pulled up the article here. I think it was a Dave Grenig article. Nick has 12 horses, and he's going to stay in Saratoga for a while. So maybe you'll see Nick around town. Then he'll head down to Keeneland for that meet in October. And then he's going to Florida this year. The last few seasons, he's been down at Oaklawn, but Nick is going to head to Florida this winter. And always like to root for Nick. Had him on the show earlier. Always fun to talk to. Great memories, great stories. So, again, congratulations to Nick Zito with what I think was a popular victory yesterday here at Saratoga. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, more of 2024 recap action. Stay tuned.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Our recap of the 2024 meet over on the front side, but I want to take a second to just reflect on here and thank the folks who came over to sit in with us during the meet or sat in for taped interviews over on the front side in the paddock or out at the winner's circle, back in the jocks room, wherever. I printed up the guest list here and wanted to kind of go down through and thank people. First of all, our regulars, Kevin Cox, the Brooklyn Cowboy, was in every other Thursday doing some handicapping and tossed out some very good ideas, certainly throughout the meet. And congratulations to Kevin on a nice meet. We appreciate the regular visits. The Racing Forum team, Mike Welsh and Dave Grenig, they always give out good information, and they were in here every week alternating. We appreciate that. Always a fun visit from the Saratoga special team, Tom Law, Joe and Sean Clancy. Appreciate their making the weekly visits in here. Tom Amello, our friend Tom Amello, came in on Wednesdays and hit some trip notes and whatnot. That was a lot of fun as well. Andy Belfiore from NYTHA stopped by. Always like to talk the New York Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association and their perspective and the things they're doing for aftercare and whatnot. So that was a fun visit. Phil Bauer, we had him in early, and he continued to have a very, very good meet. So it was fun to get Phil in. Mike McAdam from the Gazette stopped by actually a couple of times. Appreciate Mike stopping in because he does great coverage up here throughout the meet for the Daily Gazette. Graham Motion stopped by. Joe Bianca, who now does some work with West Point. He still has the podcast out there. Joe, I remember him when he worked at the barbecue, Bick's Barbecue on the behind the grandstand for years. But now it's fun to see Joe out here. Carrie Bryan, who another one of those trainers down the list a little bit, but just because of limited number of starters. But she tweeted out, and she was very pleased with her meet. I think yesterday may have been her last starter of the meet, but she had a number of wins on the steeplechase side of things and the flat. So Carrie Bryan, a nice meet. Dan Collins, want to thank Dan and the folks at Bonaventure for their sponsorship, but it's always fun to get Dan in here and talk a little horse racing. As I mentioned earlier, we had Nick Zito in. Always fun to catch up with Nick and hear some stories and whatnot. Again, congratulations on the victory yesterday. Jason Brinkman from America's Pastime Racing Stable, the local ownership group that had a nice little meet up here as well. They had some winners, and they also participated with horses through the ring over on the sales side for sales week. So it was fun to talk a little bit about all of that. Cherie DeVoe and David Engordo, a husband and wife team, bloodstock agent trainer. Cherie got off to a great start to the meet, and we had them in early, and it was fun to hear them talk about kind of, melding their two specialties and how they work together a little bit. And Cherie and the great work she does on the training side of things. So that was fun to get them in. Kendrick Carmouche, it's always fun to talk to Kendrick. Jack Sisterson as well. Rob Falcone, Jenna Antonucci have stopped by. Pat McKenna, he was in yesterday with us, but he was in earlier in the meet as well. Always great to get the NYRA perspective on things. Bill Gallo came in and talked steeplechase. Bill, part of that National Steeplechase Association. Travis Stone, announcer at Churchill, but also a local product, and he spends the summer up here a lot. You see him over on the front side. We had him come in and handicap. Always great to see Travis. Katie Davis stopped by. We had her come in just to talk about being up here at Saratoga, racing at Saratoga, but we had her in before the match race across the street where her father was in a sulky. She was in saddle on a trotter. They had two separate match races over there. It was fun across the street. I had a great crowd that night. It was for charity, and both Katie and Robbie won by that much to the delight of the crowd, but we had Katie in. Always fun to talk to the Davis family. Ken McPeak stopped by. That was a lot of fun. Followed up by Brian Hernandez. So we got to talk with both of those guys about their great, Oaks Derby weekend and more. Torpedo Anna being a big part of that, and a big part of, obviously, the Saratoga summer as well. David Aragona, always fun to talk to David, and some thoughts on making the morning line and some handicapping. Dean Reeves, owner, who is always prominent up here. Plays a lot recently in the New York bred game. Dean has some runners in this afternoon to wind up the season. Our friend Kim Weir, now with Therapeutic Horses of Saratoga, stopped by a couple of times, actually, and then we got a chance to go down to their charity event last week and shoot the pickleball. So we dropped that in as well. Brian Bouillet from the museum. Appreciate him giving us an update. And don't forget, the museum open through the rest of the year. If you didn't get a chance to stop by the museum during the racing season, do it subsequently this fall. Jay Provenzano, Flying P Stable. Great meet for Jay on the owner's side of things. It was fun to have him in, talking a little bit about being an owner and playing up here at Saratoga and vying for the title as well. And again, great meet for Jay. Rick Schosberg stopped by, talking a little bit about aftercare for the thoroughbreds. He's retired now for the training side, but still plays into the aftercare quite a bit. We also had some video one morning of that jockey basketball game down the street. That was a lot of fun this year, as always. Safi Joseph stopped by. Nicole Russo from the Racing Forum, talked with her a little bit about the sales. Had Fritz Wiedemann from NTRA. Thanks to the NTRA for their sponsorship of these morning programs. Bruce Levine, David Hill on Loose on the Lead one day. It was fun to talk to the trainer and the author. David was interesting on the gambling side of things overall. Had our friends from Dark Horse and Impression stop by, Marianne Barker and Maddie Zanetti. We appreciate their sponsorship of the Dark Horse Play of the Day this year. Did a little video over at the auction that I dropped in one day. John Stewart from Resolute Racing was becoming a prominent owner. He jumped in and was part of that, participated in that tape piece we did over at the sale. Jessica Paquette, up from Parks for a few days. We got her to come in. I kept running across her. She would make kind of a quick surgical strike, and then she was here with her horse doing horse shows most of the time, so she was tied up there. But then she texted me, "Hey, I'll be in tomorrow if you got room." And so we popped her in. It was fun to talk to Jessica as well. Terry Finley from West Point. We've had some of the West Point folks in. That's been fun. Mike Kane, our friend Mike Kane, who used to have years back, was doing some of the production help back here with us, but also was at the Gazette, was at the museum, now doing some work for TDN and beyond. Anna Seitz from Facing Tipton got a little insight onto the sale. Richard Migliori, it's always great to have Mig back here. Rudy Rodriguez. Ray Howell and Jay Connolly were rooting for the return of the low rollers. They were the guys behind the low rollers, but typically do some handicapping on the front side in some of the NYRA facilities. We talked to them. Horacio DePaz stopped by. Laura Simiel for talk breakfast, and we had a little breakfast video because that's always a fun part of the Saratoga day. Keith McCalmont came with a King's Plate preview. Keith now with NYRA, but was up at Woodbine for quite a while prior to that. Mike Veach, it was fun to get our friend Mike Veach back in, talking about they updated their Travers book, he and Brian Bouillet, but he's got one coming up as well. We talked about that. Dylan Davis stopped by. I always say fun to get the Davis folks in, and it was fun to talk to Dylan on his good season. George Weaver, Frank Miramati, Jose Santos Jr., the agent. That was a fun Sunday morning with Weaver. Frank was great. Got a lot of good feedback on that show. Junior Alvarado stopped by. We appreciate that. Jen Paragallo, who got her first win up here, sat in with Tom Amello and I. Brad Cox popped by, as I mentioned, one morning. Joe Migliori, Rich's son, but now a bloodstock agent, jockey agent, and he is with Matt Cuter's Adelphi Racing as well. And Matt also stopped in that morning to talk about Panda Gate coming up, who ran well. Naj Thompson from the Breeders. Michael Blown, our friend from Old Friends, stopped by. Elliot Walden. Gene Kirshner, who's handicapping for the Gazette. And again, we let it, hopefully we didn't jinx. Hopefully Gene's still doing well with the results. John Panagot, the agent. Flavian Protz stopped in the other day. We had Ramon Dominguez and Alberto Chavez. Mark Cassie, you saw this weekend as well. And John Ortiz yesterday along with Pat McKenna on Racing Across America. So it's been a fun season up here, and we appreciate all of those guests stopping by and taking time during a very busy season. All right, let's pop into our replay here of some of the highlight races that have some highlight side stories as well. So if the guys can fire up the replay, hit on first off the Queens MG early on. The Queens MG and the Schuylerville pulled this one up because Safi Joseph had a good meet, but the Queens MG got Dylan Davis off to the summer of Dylan as far as prices. He had prices throughout the entire meet. The last I heard, and this was just a few days ago, a 40% ROI for Dylan. It's unheard of. But this got things off to a good start with $91 for the Queens MG. Also wanted to show the Coaching Club American Oaks because Torpedo Anna was a great story, obviously. Kenny McPeak comes out of this and says, I don't know about the Alabama. Let's try the boys in the Travers. And that winds up being good for both of those races. The Alabama and Travers both wound up being probably better because of Torpedo Anna. So that was a great story as well. Another fun story, the Honorable Miss, and I'm showing this because Spirit Wind gets it done, the number 6 horse. Nice gutsy performance from Spirit Wind. And I'm showing because Mike Smith is on board. Mike Smith hadn't had a winner since a couple of years ago at least, and only the third time maybe he's been back here recently. So it was fun to have Mike Smith come back. I said, why'd you come? He said, if Safi calls, I'm coming. So Mike Smith on Spirit Wind and the Honorable Miss. Wanted to show Silver Knot winning the Bowling Green because it was Charlie Appleby. Flavian Prot on board, added to his stakes total. But Charlie Appleby brought an 18 horse string to the meet, 13 starts, 3 wins, but all 3 wins for Charlie Appleby were in stakes. Wanted to show Birdstone, the marathon, just because Next was so phenomenal. It's hard to, have a horse that is such a specialist, but Next in the marathon's absolutely great. So we congratulate him and see where he goes next. Showcase pulled this one up because it's Irad and Todd. Wanted to show Irad again, the leading jockey of the meet, wins a stakes race in the Saratoga Special. And Todd's had a really great meet with the 2-year-olds as usual. Todd with 2-year-olds, 7 for 43, but on dirt, 6 for 27. So good meet for Todd. With the 2-year-olds, good meet for Irad, good meet for both of them overall. Had to show Carson's Run winning the Saratoga Derby Invitational. It's our friends at West Point. Had a tape after this race from the action in the winner's circle. Very emotional, but also notable because it was Dylan Davis's first Grade 1 victory in the United States. He'd won one up in Canada before, but again, added to the great meet for Dylan with the Grade 1 victory. And the weekend, Travers weekend, started on Friday. 2 races where horses ran too good to lose. And we'll show here the personal ensign where Idiomatic dispatches randomized on the turn as they kind of dueled. And then she has the nice lead, but you get the feeling on the outside it's Raging Sea coming. Under Flavian Prot, he adds another graded stakes win. But boy, this was a huge performance from Idiomatic in defeat as she did all the running early and just gets caught late. So wanted to show that one. Also wanted to show the Flower Bowl from this weekend because it was the other Chad, which was another storyline at this meet. Chad Brown at 31-1 gets it done, walks the dog on the front end with Idea Generation. Keep that in mind for next year because it seems to happen every year that the Chad horses get it done at a price, the quote-unquote other Chad. And I had to show the exclamation point on the meet one more time. The Travers. Fierceness is out there chasing. It is Torpedo Anna, favorite of the crowd. She comes up just a little bit short, but loses nothing in defeat. They both walk away with 111 buyer figures. Just a great, great performance from both Fierceness and Torpedo Anna in what is going to go down as one of the best Travers ever. It will be in everybody's memory that was there or watched on television or whatever. We've said it quite a number of times since. It is very seldom that an event, a sporting event, lives up to the hype. This, I think, maybe surpassed it. It was a really great Travers, puts the exclamation point on the meet. So it was a fun 2024. And I just hit on some of the highlights. There were other great events as well. But that just kind of gives you an idea of what went on up here in Saratoga 2024. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, John Signor, president of Capital OTB, give a little 2024 recap from the Capital OTB perspective. All of that right after this. Stay tuned.
Why just watch the races when you can be in the middle of the action? For nearly 20 years, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program has made thoroughbred ownership affordable for the everyday fan. Ownerships of 5 and 10% are now available on a nice selection of horses. As a partial owner with Bonaventure Stables, you'll enjoy all the benefits afforded every owner. Visit with your horse in the private stable area. Greet the trainers and jockeys in the paddock. And when your horse wins, savor the moment in the winner's circle at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, or wherever you bring home the prize. Based in historic Saratoga Springs, Bonaventure Stables has been training winners and creating memories since 2005. Learn more, see available horses, and meet our team at bonaventurestables.com.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Again, closing day, Labor Day here, 2024 Saratoga meet, which includes that bonus Saratoga, Belmont at Saratoga earlier in June. It's been a fun summer up here, fun for everybody involved if you came up here. But if you stop down at the Clubhouse Racebook or some of our parlors, or you're playing via Capital OTB, I imagine you had a fun summer as well. And we'll recap some of that Capital OTB side of things with the Capital OTB president, John Signor. John, good morning.
Seth, how you doing?
Very good.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'm assuming, because we chatted a little bit before you sat down, I'm assuming you agree it was a successful 2024.
It was a good meet. Great meet up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I was up here a few times, and I thought Naira did a really nice job. The racing was terrific. But even, when they took races off the turf, I know that's, all the bettors get a little upset over that. But to be honest, it was probably obviously the right thing to do. The horse fatalities was way down this year. And without, the health of the horses, we really don't have anything up here. So I think Naira, congratulations to Naira in making those tough decisions and having a terrific meet. And like you said, the Travers was awesome. The weather really dictates how well the meet goes for everybody, Naira, us, and everybody. And I think the weather, for the most part, was pretty good, other than, we had a little rain there around the Whitney and where they had to cancel a day. But overall, for Capital OTB, the meet was great. It sounds like Naira, I just read a story from, I think, Mike McAdam, who said that Naira was very happy with their meet, and we're going to hit some thresholds. And I think they had over 1 million people paid admissions. That's terrific. There were just some beautiful days up here, and it was a great meet for everybody. We're very happy at Capital OTB as well.
Yeah, we had Pat McKenna in yesterday to kind of give the Naira's perspective, and they were certainly very, very happy, I think, with the results up here. They've done a great job, I said to Pat, with updating the facility over the past few years. That stretch area at the top, which with a couple of underutilized areas in the grandstand, that paddock suite, which overlooks the paddock, has become a lot of fun. And I thought the Jim Dandy bar, the redo of the bottom floor of the clubhouse was a nice job as well.
They opened it up a lot there. And because I know a lot of guys who hang in that area. A lot of my buddies hang in that area. Seamus and Mikey and James and the whole gang. No, that opened it up, and they loved it there. Yeah. They loved that it was wide open and gave a lot more room for people to kind of, handicap, also to just kind of walk around without being too crowded. But no, and also, I mean, obviously Naira started the Belmont Stakes weekend, which we kind of almost forget about, but that was a huge weekend as well, and they did a terrific job there. I would just add a few bathrooms somewhere, a few porta johns somewhere, but other than that, I think it went off flawlessly. And but no, I think the changes they've made every year, it seems like something new that enhances the facility, enhances the product.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's talk a little bit more about the Capital OTB side of things. As you say, a good meet up here means a good meet for us. Just expand on that a little more.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, obviously OTB TV, what we've done up here, we've done yeoman's work up here, Seth, great job. And, we thank Naira for allowing us to be here, first of all. Dave O'Rourke and his team, we appreciate their support. I think obviously we do a very good job in promoting the track, promoting the sport. And I think this is, out of all the locations, I think this is the best location on the track.
Absolutely.
It's funny. I was watching the show today, and there were like 5 horses running behind you at the same time. I said, geez, you can't get any better than that. And also our board of directors who support us doing this. There's a cost to this. This isn't free to put on these programs. And our board supports it, and we appreciate that. And they support a lot of the things we do to enhance the corporation and help our bettors, and we appreciate that. So yeah, it's and also obviously yourself. You mentioned a lot of it. Steve Bick on Loose on the Lead. Steve adds a nice touch to the weekly shows, if you will, on Sunday. And the play of the day with Kevin and Steve. I mean, I love that they take it seriously, and they want to win for our bettors. We have 50 patrons who are in that promotion, and I tell you, the Paula play of the day has really been one of the features of over the last few years. Yeah, I mean, Steve had a couple big scores. Kevin had some big scores. I think we're almost at $100 per person, almost up to $5,000. So they've done a really terrific job, and I love that they really put the time in and want to do the best they can for the patrons. Tom Amello, it's funny, I saw Tom Amello over in Saratoga State Park. That's how he got back in the mix. And I started talking to him over there, and he said, hey, I said, what are you doing this summer? You want to get back in the mix? And I thought he did a great job. Had a lot of interesting, trips and trip notes and things, but also had some betting suggestions on how to wager and things like that. Also, obviously, Brian Nadeau, even though he's not up here, he's still part of the one sheet. Peter Appleby does our stakes blog on weekends. Anthony, you and Anthony for Handicappers Report did a terrific job, and Anthony had a good year as well. You've had a good year also handicapping. I think we all started out slow, and then you kind of came back. 5 winners yesterday. Congrats on that. You have Dino and Anthony here as far as our TV staff. You have Danny back in the studio back at the clubhouse. So it's been, I think the shows have gone off a lot better. I think they've gone off about as well as they could have, and I'm very happy about that. Providing the bettors who can't get here, and the fact we're on YouTube now, people can get us, on our website for free. We're, if they can't make it up here, we can bring the track to them. We can bring the behind the scenes to them, and it's turned out very well.
Well, I'll just add it to that because I want to thank the folks who on the front side walk up and say to me, hey, great shows, really appreciate it. A particular show that morning or just overall. And I also get a lot of people who have consternation. They're staying at a hotel that maybe doesn't have Spectrum, or a Airbnb that doesn't have Spectrum. And how do I get the show? And I say, well, now you can watch it on YouTube if you want to. Just pull it up that way. And so we've alerted a lot of people. But also, if our YouTube channel, the numbers on the morning shows have really increased this year, and we appreciate that. And again, there's a lot of great feedback. And you mentioned it being at this location, and you mentioned you're a big supporter, obviously, of the television as a board of directors, and it's something we've been doing now for 30 years in this location, and it's grown as far as who it's available to now across the country, being things like YouTube and RTN. But the fans really appreciate it live from Saratoga every morning.
Well, you guys were mentioning Harvey Pack today. I mean, the old timers will remember, those shows used to happen at Ciro's.
Yeah.
We would tape the show, bring the VHS tape back here, and then run it on our TV channel. That was Harvey Pack, Steve Chris, Andy Serling. Now back then, Andy was Little Andy. Harvey Pack used to call him Little Andy. And Andy, many times, I don't think I'm saying anything out of school, looked like he just got in from a late night, at the Ciro's handicapping seminar. But that was, the good old days. I wish we still had some of those VHS tapes. I don't think we do, but I remember those shows. They were great.
Yeah, that was a classic, certainly. You mentioned it doesn't happen for free here. The board of directors certainly are potent in as far as supporting it on our side financially, but also we have a whole list of sponsors that certainly play in every year up here.
Yeah, they've been great. As obviously play the days. DePaula, right? DePaula is one of our sponsors. They've been a sponsor for many years. Bonaventure, Woodbine Racetrack, which in a couple of weeks you're going to be up there. We're going to be doing live shows from Woodbine in 2 weeks. So. And they're one of our sponsors, Dark Horse and Impressions. You did the play of the day every day for them, and we appreciate their sponsorship. Pinellas, one of the mainstays of restaurants in the area. The Horseshoe, which we're right across street from. Trackside Grill, which they allow us to put some advertising there and a little cross marketing, and we promote them. And even Kipnis. Mike Kipnis did a good job with some of those shows on Mondays and Tuesdays. That was great content for dark days that we were able to put on our TV station. I thought he did a terrific job with that. So it's been a
Also, our friends at NTRA, want to thank them for their sponsorship.
NTRA as well. That's right. And as you said, obviously our board, at the clubhouse, we have clubhouse is our busiest location. Our managers in our branches do a terrific job. I mean, they're the face of the corporation, and it's not, and this is when we're the most busy, but they're not easy jobs because, generally, I hate to say it, a lot of people don't win. So you're dealing with people who aren't necessarily winning, but it's entertainment, it's fun. And, anytime around the Saratoga meet, things will calm down now, but obviously at the clubhouse, we had, Mike there and who helped out on the handicapping side as well, Jack. Steve and Shannon did some promotions out in the field, and we basically did a promotion, I think, every day at the clubhouse. So we gave a lot of money, free money away to our patrons. But probably the most important thing is to thank our bettors, right? I mean, without our bettors, we don't have anything. We don't have the track. We don't have OTB. So we really appreciate our bettors and their support and their patronage. We had a very good meet, and that's because of the loyalty of our bettors. We know that there are a lot of options out there where you can wager. We think we provide one of the best options. We think, we have one of the best wagering sites, and we have one of the best cash rewards program in the state. So there's no reason, we're competitive with everybody, and we're happy that we are able to provide those services to our bettors, along with probably more promotions than anyone else. But in turn, those bettors and the bettors that come into our branches and everything else help us generate money for local governments. I mean, that's one of the things that's missed. I mean, we pay Saratoga County hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. We pay Albany County, Rensselaer County, Warren County, Schenectady, City of Schenectady. So we're paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to those localities, to those counties, to help offset property tax increases in the fund.
I don't think a lot of people realize it's a public benefit corporation. Right. So I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah. So we're providing tax dollars to local governments. A lot of other entities don't. And, not to get on the soapbox, but we're one of the few OTBs that don't get VLT revenue. We don't get slot revenue. Everybody else does. All the harness tracks do. Naira does. God bless them. I wish we did, but we don't. But the fact that we don't, we could have complained, we could have whined, we could have said, it's not fair. But instead, we kind of just did what, we focused on racing. We focused on our customers. We try to provide the best services we can, customer service, online wagering product. And by doing that, we've really been able to maintain a loyal, patrons and bettors. And that's enabled us to do very well over the last few years coming out of COVID. You never knew. Once COVID happened, you didn't know what was going to happen. But no, we've had a few good years. We've had a good year this year, and it's all because of our bettors. It's all because of our employees and our staff for the hard work they put in. But we're happy where we are, and racing doesn't stop today. We want to make sure that message gets out. But you're still great racing. You're still going to have the Keeneland meet coming up. You're going to have the Churchill Fall meet coming up. You're going to have Del Mar running again later in the year. You're going to have the Breeders' Cup, obviously, in November. So there's still a lot of great racing that's going to happen. And we hope our patrons stick with us through that.
And then next June, we're right back here.
Yeah, you thought it was interesting. And I think Pat and Dave O'Rourke mentioned it at a conference. And I think Pat mentioned it, that they may add another weekend. To the and
a day to the Belmont meet itself. They may go that Wednesday.
Wednesday too? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. So I think for us, that's terrific. And we kind of have our trailer here is kind of permanent, so we don't have to transport all the equipment up and back. We already have it here, so it was an easy fix for us. When the Belmont happened, we were able to get our studio up pretty quickly and help promote that product. So, but Naira's done a great job. Their Fox product is great. They really promote the sport, and we're just happy we have a very good partnership with them, Dave O'Rourke and his team, and Capital OTB. I think we have a great partnership in helping promote the racing here. They do all the work. But we have a little piece of it, and we're happy to just have that little piece.
Yeah, because it's such a great meet, and it's so easy to promote, but it's also so productive, because I think a meet like this, and you go out in the backyard, we draw new fans in, and that's what makes Saratoga a really important part of the whole racing calendar in the country. John, anything else to hit on before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's it. I just I just wanted to get on and thank all our employees, thank our board of directors, and thank Naira for the relationship we have and the partnership we have at Saratoga and all year. They've been very good to us, and it's resulted in good things for Capital OTB. But yeah, we have a lot of racing left this year. I can't believe it's already September 1st. I have to admit that. It seems like just yesterday we walked into the track and it was.
How come January and February?
It was Belmont, actually. It was.
How come January and February don't go this fast?
Yeah. I don't know. I wish maybe they should run up here in January and February. Maybe that'll make it go faster. I don't know. But no, thank you. And again, thank you to our patrons and our bettors. That's most important out of everybody. We appreciate you. It's not said enough. And if we can do things better, let us know. But we're doing our best. So thanks again.
John, appreciate the visit, and I totally concur with all the words for our Capital OTB folks, the fans, Naira as well. I'm going to take a break, so thanks for the stop, and I'm going to come back and give my thank yous and wrap it up for the season right after this. Stay tuned.
Turn your love of racing into savings with equine discounts through the NTRA. Purchase through equine discounts and receive great savings on well-known brands like John Deere, Sherwin-Williams, Big Ass Fans, Farmers Insurance, and Office Depot. Join thousands of other equine members and support companies that give back to the sport we all love. Call 866-678-4289 or visit equinediscounts.com to start saving today.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player, to have a better knowledge of the game, to be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. We kind of alluded to it in the last segment, but I have a copy of the Dave Grenig article here talking about the potential for more days. Every year there's the rumors going around. This year the rumors that I heard seem to have a little more bite to them. And we had Pat McKenna yesterday on Loose on the Lead, and he kind of alluded to it. But again, Dave Grenig talked to Dave O'Rourke from NYRA. And it looks like the possibility the Belmont and Saratoga meet might add Wednesday next year, so that may go from 4 days to 5 days, and they might come up here a week earlier. And essentially, it would be the last week of the Belmont meet up here, that July 4th period, the 3rd to the 6th next year. That's possible. Dave O'Rourke said they'll know more probably by October. It's not going to be, and I'm looking for the O'Rourke added that staying in Saratoga after the Belmont Stakes weekend is completed, quote, is not on the table. So it won't be Belmont Stakes right through, but they may add some days next year as compared to this year. So keep that in mind. And as I say, we'll know sometime in the fall, it sounds like. All right, I wanted to wrap things up here, giving my thank yous because I'm in here every morning and I'm sitting in front of the camera and I can only do it with the guys behind the camera. And so I certainly first and foremost want to thank Dino Cantonacci and Dan Hayes, who have been members of the TV team for years. Dan down in Albany during the meet. Dino has been up here in Saratoga. Anthony Probst, our newest member, but he's been here for a couple of years, and an able addition to the team as well. So those three guys, yes, three guys. We put it on. I look out occasionally, and I'll see that we have a big crane that goes up to that flying camera that you see on the backstretch of the NYRA races. And I look up on the lift, and there'll be like 5 guys up there working on the camera. And I think they got 5 guys just to work on that camera. We got 3 guys total, and they do a great job throughout the season. So, again, thanks to Dino, Dan, and Anthony for their work. I'll also toss out Shannon Donovan from the marketing department. He plays into a lot of the we talked a little bit about the promotions, and Shannon is really integral there. The pick 3 play. Oh, I didn't mention the pick 3 earlier. Pick 3 we hit again, and this was one where I went back, and I could have been more clever with my picks yesterday. Everybody wound up with a little bit of money again, but not. And again, we were alive to better payoffs. Wound up with one that was okay, and so again, the team wound up with a little bit of money, not as much as I would have hoped for. So we didn't knock it out of the park on any of them, but far more days than not, everybody wound up with a little something. But yes, most days I've gone back and looked, and I thought, I couldn't have done anything. Yesterday, I could have been more clever with the selections, but it was what it was. And again, I think there were 2 days maybe we didn't hit anything. The other days, everybody got a little something. But as I say, Shannon Donovan is kind of the guy, the mover and shaker behind the pick 3 bankroll plays and a lot of those other promotions that go on during the month. So again, thanks to Shannon for his work. John said it, thanks to the board of directors and John himself for supporting the TV up here. It's been an important part of what we do at OTB, but I think an important part of the racing scene at Saratoga for many years, long before I was a part of it. I was a fan and watching, going back to the days of Mark Casano and Mike Veach and Nick Kling and Tom Amello on Saturday and Sunday mornings and more. And it still is that kind of an important part, but now for a much broader audience, again, having national exposure on the internet and whatnot. And I, as always, appreciate the feedback I get on the front side, the thumbs up, and a lot of great feedback. Virtually every day, 6 people will come up, hey, like the shows or like this show this morning or whatnot. And I try to come back and pass that on to the crew and let them know there's a lot of great feedback regularly from the fans. Thanks to the folks who sat in Steve Bick on Sundays, Anthony Mormino during the handicapper support, Tom Amello, our regular, and as I say, those regulars during the Racing Across America, the folks from the Saratoga Special, and Grenigan Welch from the Racing Forum. We really appreciate their participation. Thanks again, John listed all the sponsors. Thanks to those folks. We really appreciate their support. Couldn't do it without you. And also thanks, obviously, to the folks at NYRA, because we have a big patch of land here that they allow us to have that is probably as good as you're going to get on the racetrack as far as setting up a TV set, with the horses working behind us in the morning. And we open up the tent, we can see the 7 furlong chute there and the horses working out, the Jim Bond horses going back and forth. It's just a great location. And we're right here live on the backstretch. So thanks to the folks at NYRA for their hospitality, allowing us back here year in and year out. We really appreciate that. So again, thanks to them and congratulations on a good meet 2024 to the New York Racing Association. And I'm just looking, and because I want to make this last but not least, and I think I've done it also, I will do last but not least. You, the fans, thank you to you. As I say, get great feedback, and I really appreciate it. Pass it on to everybody here as well. But appreciate you're watching, you're enjoying, and then you're giving the feedback. Means a lot to me, and I think to everybody that is part of the team here. So again, thanks to you, the fans, for your participation, as it were, in the morning programming. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Last guy here, I'll turn off the lights and lock the door. Actually, the crew will be the last ones here, but I will theoretically wrap it up on behalf of them on this last day of Saratoga 2024. Stay tuned this afternoon. Play, enjoy, come up, go to the racebook, but enjoy in some fashion this Labor Day, closing day 2024 at Saratoga. Been a great meet. We appreciate you. Thank you. We'll see you coming back as far as programming here on the network with me. It'll be Saturday. Going to take a few days off here, but we'll be back in Saturday morning for Racing Across America. So we'll see you then. Otherwise, enjoy your day at the races, and thanks for tuning in all summer.
You've been watching Racing Across America. Racing Across America has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. When you can't make it to the track, make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Also brought to you by Wizard Race and Sports.
And in the